been trying to stay away from here since the black tide destroyed the grove. And through that, stay away from the memories that might make me sad. But the wind keeps pulling me back. Maybe that's the Twilight Courtyard's duty, after all. I know, little Ika. I know. I too miss the days when we all studied together. But we have an even more important mission this time round. Lord Finan has already set the date to campaign against Aquila. Being a descendant of the Sky People, You're right. At least I can still afford to get lost in thought once in a while. Oh, ancestors. Please wait for just a bit longer. The time I spent in the grove deserves some reminiscence. This was where Professor Anaxa gave us the lesson. I can still see that day in my mind.
And that was your last lesson in the Grove. Now, each of you will head off on your own path. How much the Grove's teachings can help you in the real world depends on how well you can put knowledge into practice. However, heed this warning. If you ever do anything disgraceful out there, don't ever claim you were the student of Anaxagoras, one of the 7 sages.
Professor Anaxa, there are still other classes scheduled on the calendar. Are you sure you didn't...
Firstly, call me Professor Anaxagoras. Secondly, to clarify, the last lesson means the last lesson I will teach you. I will be entering seclusion from today onwards to research ancient alchemy, and all my teaching activities will be put on hold.
Ah, I see. So you're saying that the lessons taught by all the other teachers aren't good enough to be considered lessons?
All you do every day is wag that sharp tongue of yours. That's a credit deduction, Finan of Ides Elysiae. I have nothing left to say. Next.
Please wait, Professor. According to the Grove's protocols for a cohort's final class, the lecturer should take some time in that lesson to discuss the students' post-graduation aspirations with them and guide them toward a solid path. Surely you can't skip such a crucial step, Professor.
The teaching assistant, Miss Hyacine, is truly Professor Anaxa's nemesis.
Fine. Since Hyacinthia insists on this, let's go through the process. Since some of you are so eager to speak, why don't we start with you, Finan of Ides Elysiae? What is your post-graduation aspiration?
Me? Well, it's not exactly an aspiration, but the only thing I want to do is to protect the people I care about.
I see. So you want to be a hero? How boring. Next.
I didn't say...
Castorus, you've been giggling for quite some time. How about you go next?
Perhaps my answer is a bit vague and meaningless, Professor Anaxagoras, but I hope the world can be freed from the agony of death, so that every living being may find calming peace.
How naive. So naive that it makes me want to weep for your fairy tale. See, this is why I don't want to follow those outdated protocols. All I get are boring answers. Since you suggested this whole process, why don't you wrap this up, Hyacinthia? Share your aspiration with everyone, and let's see if yours stands out.
So it's finally my turn. Good thing I came prepared. My aspiration is nothing less than completing the final blank page at the end of the hero's epic.
Blank page? An interesting description. Do explain, Assistant.
I've read all of Amphoreus' heroic epics while studying at the Grove, and a common thread came to my attention. Almost every epic ends with a description of the hero's achievements. But few mention how the everyday people of that time lived. No one recorded the struggles and suffering the commoners endured.
So you're saying that, instead of legendary heroes, you're more focused on commoners living on the peripheries of historical records.
Perhaps I'm influenced by my background. My ancestor, Seliosi the Day Thunder Knight, raised her spear against the sky and ushered in the flame-chasing era that continues to this day. Her story is told to every child descended from the Skyfolk. We have no doubts about Seliosi's greatness, yet her towering figure overshadowed every record from that entire era. What about the Day Thunder Knight's family, allies, and friends? What about the survivors and those who died in the great battles? Whenever I think about their stories by the campfire, I realize the details of those legends have been long lost, and only Seliosi's name remains. Her brilliance had become as blinding as Aquila's, lording over everything on the ground. That's why I'm glad that my era does not lack heroes. All my ancestors had was a sad past, but I have a future I want to protect. Instead of becoming a hero and ushering in a golden deluge to baptize the world anew, I want to stay in the backline and save all the ordinary humans from drowning in the rising waves. I wish not to return to the sky, but to walk among the masses on Earth. I believe it's the only way for the saga of creation. To include a footnote for the everyday people in its blank page. I'm getting embarrassed from remembering how I said all that. But my beliefs have never changed. Now I really have a chance to stay behind the hero's front line and realize my dream. Danny, what are you doing here? You guessed it. To reach Aquila's realm in the sky, descendants of the Sky People must perform a bloodline ceremony, summon the spirits of our ancestors, and get their blessings. That's the only way for creatures on Earth to forge the rainbow bridge to the sky. And the soul of the first ancestor I want to see is here in the grove. Don't worry. I have little Ika with me. You will protect me, won't you? Good, Ika. Well, what brings you here, Danny? Right. If all goes as planned, you and Gray will be able to go home after this mission, won't you? Oh? Could it be that you too have some kind of hidden powers to make prophecies now? Nope. I didn't understand that either, little Ika. Since we've already met up, why don't you come with me, Danny? That's the dependable express guard for you. So, shall we get going? The chromocopter is vibrating. There must be memories of an ancestor nearby. This is the divine object of the Sky People, the chromocopter. Our ancestors dictated that when a descendant of the Sky Folk is ready to challenge Aquila again, they must first awaken the spirits of their ancestors with the chromocopter and receive their benediction. Only after this can the chosen Skyfolk reascend to the heavens. Very prudent, wouldn't you say? The soul of an ancestor slumbers here. Now, I will awaken them. I am Hyacine from the Twilight Courtyard, a descendant of the sky who has inherited the duty of flame chase. The time has come to fulfill our clan's destiny. I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the core flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Who has awakened me?
It's Hyacine, a descendant of the Sky People. I apologize for interrupting your slumber. You are Lord Crispus, aren't you? I've read your story in our family tree. You were a righteous judge who vindicated many who were wrongfully accused.
I never imagined someone in this era would still remember my name. So, our bloodline and duty have continued to this distant age.
Indeed, it has. I have awakened you in the hope of receiving your blessing. For the flame chase journey is nearing its perfect conclusion, and retrieving the core flame of Aquila is the final challenge the heroes will face.
Perfect conclusion. Hyacine, You look very young, and you do not have the bearings of a warrior who can contend with a titan. How can you convince me that this blessing will not turn into a curse, leading a child like you to your demise?
1,000 years ago, Seliosi, who conquered the skies, left behind legends and a will, entrusting the mission to return the Sky Titan's core flame to her descendants, to people like you and me. Though I'm not a warrior, I will not turn away from the mission that has flowed through our blood for 1,000 years. And I am not fighting alone. I have the strongest and most tenacious companions in the world. Amphoreus is in an era brimming with heroes. The burden of retrieving Aquilous core flame no longer rests solely on the shoulders of the chosen skyfolk. I now wield the power of healing. I aim to mend the fissures in the sky and heal the wounds of the people. I desire to define the mission of the Skyfolk in my own terms, to conclude the vigil that has spanned millennia.
I sense resilience in your words. Not an outward resilience, but something deeper within. Receive my blessings, young Hyacinthia. May you gain wings to return to the sky via the bridge of rainbows.
Thank you for your trust, Lord Crispus. We won't let you down. Thank you. My ancestors were all pretty strong-willed people. It won't be easy convincing them. I've run through these upcoming conversations in my head more times than I can count. Now, the next ancestor on the list. Her spirit is said to rest in the vortex of Genesis. A pity that the ceremony has to be performed in strict order. Shall we head back to Akama together, Danny? Oh, I remember! I didn't expect you to keep at it this long. That's so like you, Danny. That makes sense. Bagusa was always described as a fickle titan in the myths. Since you're offering, then let me put your skills to the test, Danny. Got it. I'm counting on you, Danny. The vortex of Genesis. Unbelievable. Danny is full of surprises. But this does feel way more disorienting than the ritual basin. Wait, is Lady Treeby here too? And who is that next to her? Oh, I think I know who that is.
Do you have to go already, Syphi? It's been ages since you were last in Akama. You could have taken some time to rest, and we could have caught up.
That's alright, big sister Chibi. I've gotten used to life on the road. Staying in this bustling city actually feels off. Besides, your prize student gave me an incredibly tough mission to handle.
Cut Snowy some slack, Syphi. He's still so young, yet he's shouldering all the responsibilities Aggie left behind. Besides, Snowy's not the kind to ask for help lightly. Since he came to you, it means you're the best person for the job.
You really spoil him, big sis Chibi.
Guess I'm past the age for someone to look after me.
Syphi.
Just kidding. I get it. That deliverer boy does have a certain charisma about him. He reminds me of Aglaia in her prime. Anyway, I'm about to head out. Oh, big sis Chibi, before I go, got a little gift for you.
Well, didn't expect you to be so thoughtful. What's in it?
That's a part of the game too. If you want to see the full picture of what's inside, you'll have to wait until nightfall.
A gift with a mysterious twist? Seriously?
Huh? Looks like we have company.
Lady Chibi, and this graceful lady must be Miss Cypher. I'm Hyacinthia from the Twilight Courtyard. Everyone calls me Hyacine. Pleased to meet you.
Bright and cheery as a lamp. Well, hello there, pink child. I'm Cyphera from the long-fallen city-state of Dolos. As for the rest, it's all in the history books, so I don't need to repeat it here. So, you're from the Twilight Courtyard. Does that mean...
Yes, I'm a descendant of the Sky People, the Chrysos heir about to take over the authority of Sky.
Whoa! That's unexpected! I figured Celiosi's descendant would be... I don't know. Taller, stronger.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Syphi. Zinni is a master of her craft. She's the most skilled and dependable physician in all of Amphoreus.
Don't worry, Lady Cypher. I may not be as strong and warlike as Lady Celiosi from 1,000 years ago, but I'm confident I can carry out the mission of the Skyfolk.
All this talk about missions, you're making it sound way too serious. You've got to look out for yourself, girl. Don't push yourself too hard. I'd hate to see that cute face all scratched out by Aquila's claws.
Syphi cracking jokes? Looks like you haven't forgotten what Aggie said all those years ago.
Anyway, I've got a mission to handle, so I'll get going. Good luck, Miss Hyacine. And if things get tough, just let that deliverer take the lead.
Miss Cypher is in such a hurry.
Don't worry, she's always been like that. It's good to have her back in Akama lending a hand. Oh, well, enough about her for now. You're here because of your mission, aren't you, Zinni? It's the perfect opportunity for me to go and tuck Syphi's gift away somewhere safe. The Vortex of Genesis is all yours.
I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the core flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Child, what brings you before me? Could it be you're a descendant of the Sky People?
Yes, I am Hyacine of the Twilight Courtyard, the successor of the Sky People's flame chase duty. You must be Gem Electra. Legend has it that during the Chrysos War, you led our people to ally with Akama and held back the Kremnoan forces. It was your victory that earned the Sky People a place in the Holy City.
Hyacine, you seem well versed in our clan's history. And this is the Vortex of Genesis?
It is. Look, 10 stars have already been lit. The Chrysos Heir's flame chase journey is nearing its end.
Are those the core flames of Fagusa and Giorios? Does that mean Hycelans and the Mountain Dwellers successfully carried out their duty? As fellow pillars of Amphoreus, who would have thought that Sky's duty could only be fulfilled after 1,000 years?
It's because Sky shelters all beneath it. If it were to shatter, the world would fall apart with it. That's why Lady Aglaia made the core flame of Aquila the final step in our campaign.
Aglaia? Is she still on the flame chase journey after 1,000 years?
Unfortunately, she has recently left us. But you're right. She was indeed still guiding the Chrysos heirs forward.
Incredible. That girl actually managed to endure the merciless erosion of time, and lasted for so long. Answer me, Hyacine. Since you recognize me, you must have also read my writings, no?
Every record regarding my lineage is etched in my memory, including your words.
In that case, you're probably aware of the prophecy I sought from a certain Trebios.
Yes. At the end of the Rainbow Bridge, the Sky Folk will mend dusk and dawn. But unfortunately, no ancestor has ever been able to truly decipher its meaning.
I see. Yet Trebios's prophecies never fail. Perhaps you'll be the one to witness its fulfillment, child. May the prophecy lead you to a gentle fate.
Thank you, Lady Ectra. Whatever fate the prophecy holds, I'll face it head-on. It's only by giving everything we have that we can truly accept any outcome with a smile. Won't you agree?
I like you, child. I wish this conversation could go on a little longer. Take my blessing, Hyacine. When I first saw you, I indeed had my doubts. But your resolve has touched me. If Sky's divinity is fated to pass on, I hope it incorporates your optimism and kindness.
Your blessing is a treasure beyond measure, General. Rest well. I'll make sure your gift is put to its best use. General Ectra is so different from how the records described her. She's quite a gentle person. All right, time to head back to the Grove. I shouldn't keep Danny and little Ika waiting. It went great. Your spirit water art was a huge help, Danny. What's wrong, Danny? You've always been a bit of a sensitive soul, haven't you, Danny? Lady Trinan deciphers countless prophecies every day, and this one's just another among many. Don't worry too much about it. Come on, Danny. Don't look so gloomy. We're gonna have to take a long trip for the final visit to the ancestors. Our final stop is Lord Mighty's home, Castrum Kremnos. We're here. This is it. Lord Mighty has been fighting the Black Tide here, alone day after day. I'm worried about him. That means he hasn't been consumed by the Black Tide's madness yet. We're here to complete an important mission. We shouldn't interfere with this battlefield. Don't you agree, Danny? There. That sleeping spirit is my grandmother. Yes, my grandmother Jacintha was a warrior. She represented the Twilight Courtyard in the Kremnos Festival. She fought her way through every challenge and reached the final stage of the Kremnos Festival. She was just one step away from securing a peace treaty for the Skyfolk, but was ultimately defeated by the champion warrior of that time. I've never looked too deeply into the details of such ritualistic violence. The scroll simply described it as a glorious duel, but behind the glorious duel was a tragic end. Not long after the festival, my grandmother's injuries worsened, and she passed away far from home. This prophecy tablet was left here by the Kremnoans to honor her final wish. Her death marked the final collapse of the Twilight Courtyard, already fragile under the shadow of war. Was Lord Kratos. Seeing him lying there, gravely wounded, bleeding out, I can't put what I felt at that moment into words. But when I heard Lord Kratos took that fatal blow to protect Lady Trian, all those tangled feelings faded away. To quote Lord Finan, Kratos must have done that to become a better man. You're getting better at this, Danny. In her final diary entry, my grandmother wrote that when the moment of destiny comes, a descendant of the Sky People would deliver the message of their departure to her spirit. I wonder what she'd think when the one awaking her turns out to be her beloved granddaughter. I will join the heroes of the prophecy to return to the sky and retrieve the core flame. Ancestor, please bestow upon me your generous blessing.
Is this the world of the living? Wait. You... Could you be...
Grandmother? It's me. Your Hyacinthia.
Hyacinthia, my little hummingbird. Why? How? Why Why is it you who awakened me? I have never imagined this. I thought I would feel happy for all my ancestors when this day came, but now I can't even experience the joy of seeing you again.
Do you remember that you and Father took me to my very first sky rite when I was 8? Back then, you wanted me to pick one accessory out of 4. The sun crown representing nobility, the storm bracelet symbolizing strength, the ice ring embodying wisdom, and the radiant pendant signifying kindness. Grandmother, do you remember the one I chose?
You spoke an innocent little prayer, infusing a faint thread of light to that modest pendant.
Yes, and I remember how surprised you were. In all those centuries, no other child of the Sky People had ever made the same choice I did.
Hyacinthia, there was a time when I thought you were a timid child. You never had much interest in swords or battle and had no relation to that fiery determination and strength in our blood. Yet I've told myself, that's not a bad thing. If my hummingbird could live her life in kindness and optimism, then it'd be a good thing. I never thought the burden of retrieving the core flame of Aquila would fall to you.
Don't worry about me, Grandmother. I believe what makes someone a Skyfolk isn't just outstanding strength, but the capacity to shape the world. When the world cried out for a hero to challenge the gods 1,000 years ago, Zeliosi stepped forward and began the flame-chasing era. And now, as the flame chase journey nears its end, this broken world is crying out for something else. Healing. Isn't it poetic? A saga that spans 1,000 years, began with Sky, and will also end with Sky.
You're still as optimistic as ever, just like when you were a kid. If your mind is set, Hyacinthia, then carry your resolve through to the very end. Return to the sky with my blessing, and watch over this world on the threshold of salvation.
Grandmother, thank you. But I have one last request.
Speak, Hyacinthia. We should still have some time.
Before you go, could you tell me the tale of the Sky Hero once more? Just like you used to.
Then listen closely, my dearest hummingbird. After all, this will be the last time. For millennia, the Titans waged relentless wars, leaving the world scarred and ravaged. A century of the Chrysos War plunged the nations into chaos and decay. Until a spear, fueled by mortal rage, pierced through the smoke and flames that buried the prophecy of deliverance. Aquila, the celestial shaper, the 100-eyed divine bird crowned with the blazing sun and wielding thunder. Those struck blind in 99 eyes by Nicanor, they kept one eye glaring at the children of Twilight who received divine blessing, yet turned their weapons against the gods. The Chrysos heir of the sky, Seliosi, the Day Thunder Knight, ascended the forbidden lands of the Eye of Twilight at dusk, clad in wings.
To her left was the lion-headed Solipus the Sunlit Wings, whose roars breathed divine flames and scorched the world. To her right was the horse-bodied Lunibus, the Moonlit Plume, whose graceful steps trampled the stars in the heavens. The one warrior and her two beasts challenged the ruler of the sky, determined to seize the divine core flame through plunder. The Titans' every roar summoned lightning bolts, and their every movement stirred cyclones. The wounded Titan's blood poured down like boiling rain upon the world and converged into scalding torrents. In the final moments of battle, the Sunlit Wings set the Titan's wings aflame, while the Moonlit Plume sealed the divine body. The battered hero of the sky, with her wings broken and her body covered in wounds, struggled to lift her spear and pierced the last monstrous eye. The Titan's divine body crashed to the ground, and with it, the sky tore apart like fabric, about to fall with its god. The fear and pleas of mortals urged the hero of the sky to rise again. Celiosi, the Day Thunder Knight, the first of the Chrysos heirs to slay a god in this world, charged into the crumbling body of Aquila with her two fearless winged companions. She merged with the Titan, holding up the sky once more, only to leave behind a powerful message for the world. My descendants will be blessed and cross the Rainbow Bridge back to the sky. At the end of the prophecy of Genesis, they will reclaim the core flame from my hands.